Armenian and Azerbaijani leaders are expected to meet in Vienna to discuss the ceasefire in occupied Karabakh. The meeting between Serge Sarkisyan and Ilham Aliyev will be their first face-to-face encounter since fighting started back in early April. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and French Secretary of State for European Affairs Alain Désir will also participate in the meeting. Well, joining us with more on this story is our senior producer, Ali Mustafa, and he joins us on set. Ali, good to have you on. This is quite interesting because this is one of the world's least covered conflicts. Just give us an insight onto this.
Not just one of the world's least covered conflicts, but also one of the longest running conflicts. The Karabakh story, or the occupied Karabakh story, begins in 1988 with the breakup or the eventual demise of the Soviet Union. It's when Armenian separatists in the Karabakh region of Azerbaijan, which is then a Soviet satellite state, declared independence. And hostilities begin between Azerbaijani forces and Armenian separatists holed up in Karabakh. But it doesn't end there. Armenian regular forces from Armenia move in and start occupying Azerbaijani lands. That's how the conflict begins. It goes up to 1994 when a peace deal is reached, which has now been occasionally violated from both sides and is continued to be violated this year.
Now, you were recently there on the front lines. What did you see?
It's a tense situation. We were on the Azerbaijani side of the front lines of the divide in an area called Aghdam. Aghdam is an area where houses have been shelled from the Armenian side. At least 3 people were killed while we were there, and casualties have mounted on both sides. In fact, a few days ago, an Armenian soldier, Armenia says, was killed from the Azerbaijani side. So shells are being fired from both sides. The Azerbaijanis say they are only responding to Armenian shelling into their areas, but the situation remains tense.
Tense, but what do you expect from the talks today in Vienna?
Now, the talks in Vienna are to reinforce a tentative ceasefire that was reached late last month, in April. It's a very complicated contact group. It's called the Minsk Contact Group, with Russia, France, and the US chairing it. But keep in mind, Russia continues to supply weapons, not just to Armenia and Azerbaijan, but it knows that weapons from Armenia are going into the hands of Armenian separatists fighting there as well. So it's, and Armenia itself says that the contact group has failed to meet its objectives to monitor ceasefire violations, which Azerbaijan, in fact, agrees to with as well.
All right, long-running conflict out in the Caucasus and a complicated situation. Ali Mustafa, thank you very much for that.